Hello, beautiful souls. This is Julie with Into Heart Space, and we're here already looking at the energy surrounding you for February. So first and foremost, so much love, joy, and blessings to everyone who's been watching and giving wonderful feedback. Just a reminder that a channel is about growth, about love, about raising each other up, and keeping that vibration high. And we all fall, and that's just being human, and that's just being where we are. But if we do fall, and we do fall into a harsher area, instead of trying to bring people down with you, let us rise you up. So please make sure that when you do leave comments, that you're leaving it in your highest of energy at the time, and that what you say and what you do is constructive for everyone involved. I have a background as a dancer, so I'm very used to hearing criticism and hearing things about um, what I'm doing wrong, how I can fix it, what I need to do to be better. And for me, it's very helpful. But when you are saying negative, mean, spiteful things to others, it doesn't help anyone, and it doesn't help anyone grow. So just be mindful of the words that you put down on the channel. Remember, it rings out to everyone, and you can't bring it back. So remember to speak, be, act with love and joy in your heart. Now, remember that this reading, too, I'm starting a new kind of format in that the beginning of the reading is the collective. So I'll pull one card that is for the collective. So this includes everybody in some way, shape, or form. It could be in your subconscious, it could be your conscious, but it will hit you sometime during this one card. And this is for everybody, so for all the signs. And then after that, it'll go into your individual sign, your sign reading for the month. So I've been hearing that there's a little bit of confusion about that. So know that this is the collective. So this is every sign, and then it will go into your individual sign. So your sun, moon, rising sign. So make sure also too, when you are looking at the readings for your individual signs, that you are looking at your sun, that you are looking at your rising, you're looking at your moon. And if you're more interested about, your relationships, then find Mercury in your natal chart, find Venus, find Mars in your natal chart, and see how it's all interacting, and look at those signs too. If you have questions about that, let me know. Maybe I could do a video kind of explaining why they are important and why those readings will reflect relationships or family or whatnot. But know that you are not just one sign. You are made up of every sign, actually. So every sign in some regard will resonate with you, whether it's about how you act or how you are acting with your family, higher education, your spiritual side. There's so many different aspects, but absolutely look at your sun and your rising and your moon. All right, so let's pull one for the collective, calling on the highest of energy, highest of love and light, calling on the divine. What is the energy for the collective? What message do you have for everyone? This one. Okay. Clear yourself. So this says, ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. Holy moly, isn't that right, people? Collective. Right? Have you been feeling it lately? That people have been a little bit more tight, a little bit more abrupt, a little bit more quick to say something negative instead of sitting with their feelings and letting what comes out flow like silk instead of, in anger. So this is time. This is the time to clear yourself of those energies. Take an Epsom salt bath. Sit with yourself. Drink really clear water. Or you could also drink water with a little bit of vinegar and lemon and cayenne and just clean your system. But take this time to let go of that energy that has happened over the holidays. If you've received anger and bitterness from others, let it go. Remember, the opinion of others it's not for you. It's not important to you. It's none of your business, So what other people feel about you, let go. It has nothing to do with you. What really matters is your connection to yourself, to your environment, and to your higher mind, your higher spirit, your higher body. Find that connection, and when you do, you will be connected to everyone. So let me read this to you one more time. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. So everyone, if you also hold on to this energy, this toxic energy, it forms into different things like, I am a true proponent that if you hold on to toxicity, it could turn into an illness. It can turn into a darker mindset. It can turn into depression. So these are things that you need to let go so that you can let the light in. And you guys know that. I say that so much, is that you need to let go. And even in dance classes that I teach, I tell my students, let go. Move that spine, move it so that you can really feel your body flowing, feel the energy flowing through it. So make sure that you are doing that right now. It's starting to add up, it's starting to accumulate, and you have to expunge that energy, let it out so that you can cleanse and clear your heart space. All right, let's go on to your reading. Hello, Cancer. This is Julie with Into Heart Space, and we're looking at the energy surrounding you for the team. Let's see, what are the messages for Cancer? And if you would like a personal reading, we can set that up. You can find me on Facebook, you can email me, you can go to my website, Twitter, and we can set something up. All of the prices you can find on our website. So Cancer, calling in the highest of light, the highest of energy to guide this reading, calling in the divine. What messages are for Cancer 17? Okay, we're going to keep those. We'll just keep them as a surprise. And remember to look at your rising sign, your moon sign, and your sun sign. They all have relevance to you. And even looking at your Venus or your Mars, which you can find in your natal chart. And if you are interested in your natal chart, I have a website linked in the description box for you to create a natal chart for yourself so you can see it. So we have 2. Okay. And the energy that's coming in from Mary is the 7 of Pentacles. So you've been working hard, Cancer. You've been, making things happen. Now you're wondering if it's worth it, all this work, all this time that you're putting into a certain situation in your life. Is it panning out? Well, the 7 of Swords is asking you, because only you know if it's worth the work that you've been putting in. So, then we have the Knight of Wands reversed, the Magician, the Initiate, 7 of Cups reversed, the Guide, the King of Wands, the Moon reversed, the High Priestess, 2 of Cups, 8 of Discs, 6 of Swords, 4 of Discs, and then the 5 of Wands reversed. Okay. So this is interesting here, having the 6 of Discs, 7 of Discs in the middle, and then having the reverse Knight of Wands. So right off the bat, I completely feel, and I'm getting the nod from Spirit to talk about this, it is worth the work that you're putting into it. It is absolutely worth it. The reason why you are questioning it is I think somebody is filling your head with their own personal jealousies. Having the Knight of Wands in reverse is, somebody who's kind of mopey, wants to bring you down because, they're jealous of you, might be very gossipy about you, and it's all because they don't feel secure in themselves, and because they want the limelight, because they want the attention. And so they're going to try to get the attention in any way possible. And the way that they're doing it right now is by saying what you're doing isn't worthwhile, by saying who and what you're all about doesn't matter. And so they're bringing you down. And so, you're looking at everything you've been working on and you're like, does anything matter? Gosh, what have I been doing all this time? But the fact is, it is wonderful, it is beautiful, and it is definitely worthwhile. But I feel like somebody is really trying to get into you and manipulate you, and, in a way, like it's harassment, And the Wand's energy can be a fire energy, and that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a fire person, but Spirit keeps saying Leo. If you have a Leo in your midst, you might pay attention to how they're reacting and acting to you and what they say to you. And not saying that you have to, cut them out of your life and say, you're a liar, you're hurting me, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. What you do is you just don't take it in and understand that they're not coming from a higher energy. Because this doesn't necessarily mean that this person's going to be like this forever. They can always rise higher. It's just at this time in their life, they are not helping you. But if it's not a Leo, it could have a fire energy like a Sagittarius, an Aries. So pay attention to that. I feel like somebody's trying to cut you down, Cancer. All right, so in relationships, we have the Magician, the Initiate, and then the Seven of Cups. Okay, interesting. Okay, so with the Magician and the Initiate, that's so interesting to have these two here. I feel like you're coming into yourself, Cancer, for a lot of you. Like you're starting to understand yourselves on a very clear, higher level. And because you're starting to realize what assets you have and who you are, and so this questioning in the middle of the reading is going to give you answers of, man, I've got tools in the toolbox. I can make things happen. I am worth it. Like at the end of all this, I think you're going to really take in this idea of, wait a minute, yeah, what I'm doing is definitely worth it. And you're going to find love in yourself. And you're going to find love in what you do. And you're going to find really creative ways of continuing this path, this journey that you're working on. The downside of this is now in relationships, you're going to feel like you don't have any choices. Like all the people that you had been attracted to, all the people that you've been hanging out with are going to seem not to resonate with you anymore. Like you're just not going to click with them like you did. And this could have been a gradual thing. Like I feel like this is a very gradual thing that has been going on for some time, but it's really going to click and very like, why don't I necessarily resonate with these people anymore? And it could be with a love relationship where you just kind of look up at them and you're like, who is this stranger across from me? I do not resonate anymore. I don't get who they are. Because you have been reaching a higher level, Cancer. Like you've been filling your cup you've been filling your spirit. And so when you look up and you see these people, they don't seem as close to you as they used to. And I'm not saying as I was saying with this Knight of Wands, like you have to cut them out, that they no longer are your friends or your family, just start all over. No, this is the time to really have compassion and patience, because you are reaching a new level. And so these people who are no longer gelling with you still love you and still want to be part of your life. So love that and be grateful for having them, because they are also the reason why you have reached where you are. But just make sure to have your heart space open to allow more of your tribe to come in. Okay, so with career, we have the Guide, the Knight of Wands, and then the Moon reverse. So this, I feel like this is a very spiritual read, Cancer, because here we have the Knight, the King of Wands, and then the Guide next to each other, and then the Moon in reverse. So I feel like you're shining light on what you want and what you want to do. And because of all the work that you've been doing, it's starting to be clear. It's starting to be clear of what you have and what you want to do when it comes to your job. So I feel like you might be shifting your mindset and your idea of how you are going to cultivate work. And I also feel like that somebody's noticing this and noticing how you are shifting, and they kind of want in on it. They want you to work for them. They want a part of your magic. So be, and I think it's we have the King of Wands here. So it's, again, fire energy. And I feel like they may pursue you very strongly. Say, hey, no, I want you to work for me. I want you to be part of my team. I want your skill set. I've never seen anything like it. But I also feel like if it doesn't resonate with your heart, if you feel like, this doesn't seem right, there's a reason. There's a reason that you're feeling that way. Listen to it. Because with the moon in reverse, it's not being clear about your emotions, but it's also kind of being mopey, depressed, and it can be kind of an oppressive, and once again, this jealous kind of feeling. So it could be that, this person isn't recognizing these feelings, but they're acting from that. Like, oh gosh, this person's better at this than I am. How am I going to keep them close so that I can learn and take what they have? Like that could be one thing. Or it could be, oh my gosh, they could make me a lot of money and I could use them. But they're not meaning to do it in a vicious way, but it's coming from that. So if you feel that when you are offered anything in January when it comes to your career, if you feel like, ooh, a little icky when somebody's talking to you, in Cancer, you're very intuitive. So if you feel, if you question it, if all of a sudden when they're talking and they offer you something, your first response is, oh gosh, I don't know, I can't even think. I can't think clearly. There's a reason for that too. So don't give them an answer right then. Wait until you get to settle with it and then make your decision. Because I feel like there's some other options that are going on that are going to fulfill you emotionally and spiritually. I don't see any like financial things for you in this really, but I do feel like it will just be like straight across when it comes to finances. It won't be like you'll be making more, but you won't be making less. But you will. There's a question of if you will be satisfied with the work that you will be doing. Okay. All right. So with abundance, we have the High Priestess, Two of Cups, and then the Eight of Discs. So this is asking you to keep on working at what you're doing, that there's some lessons that you haven't quite learned yet, and once you do, if you keep working at it and you get these lessons down, it's going to raise you to a really powerful level. And with that, you'll be able to, get more contracts, you'll be able to get more clients. Everything is going to just raise in vibration. And so when I say abundance, it can be financial abundance, but it can also be spiritual abundance, which will lead to financial abundance. But it is saying that pay attention to what you're doing and make sure that you have a very well-rounded skill set. So if there's something you're lacking, get to work on it, because that will hold you back. And I feel like for a lot of Cancers, you're going to be drawn to helping others. You're going to be drawn to, even I'm like, when I see the High Priestess, I really do counseling, even tarot reading, astrology, things like that. Also, going in for spirituality. These are some things that you might explore, because I think that if you meditate within yourself, you'll see what it is you're missing, and so then you can rise to this. You can make these contracts that you really, really want to make, that will be really solid and loving and helpful to you. So main thing is get to work. Get to work on what you're lacking. And then in the mind, body, and soul connection, it just kind of reiterates everything that's going on here. Is, it's time for you to move on. Where you need to go. It's time to lay down the swords, lay down the wands, lay down the fight that you've been doing, because it's no longer, it doesn't serve you anymore. Don't listen to this Knight of Wands, and give what it is you are. This is like hoarding, holding things in, but in this reading, I really see it as, okay, move on. It's no longer time for you to just stay in your shell, Cancer. You really need to let it go. You need to shine. We want to see you shine. And the only way you're going to do that is if you keep moving forward with this work that you've already started building and cultivating. Keep learning, keep working forward. You are stronger than you know. And a lot of people know how strong you really are, and they want to use you for it. So, if you have questions about, what it is you're supposed to do if you're feeling foggy, then look to your spirit. Look to your spirit guides. Go into the temple, go into the church, go into Mother Nature and pray. Yep. If you don't believe in a higher power, still sit with yourself, listen to your intuition, and put your hands in the dirt. Ground yourself. Okay, so let's call on Mother Moon and see what added message she has for you. Mother Moon, what added guidance do you have for Cancers? Spirit tells me to let you know that there is a gift that a lot of Cancers have that you have not tapped into yet, or you are just tapping into. And that's what this is about. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to these things that all of a sudden you're innately good at. Okay, this one. Owl, awareness. I believe another sign got this month too. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the book so that I can give you a clearer. All right. With the owl, you know things. Things fly on the periphery of your rational minds. You know when people need a hug. You know when people need to be left alone. You know when people need to go outside and commune with the dirt. How interesting, right? I was like, put your hands in the dirt. The owl, with her acute night vision and keen hearing, teaches us telepathy, awareness, and wisdom. But her perceptiveness goes beyond things of a sensory nature. Owls are experts at tapping into what's brewing beneath the surface. This skill should be used with pride. It is your ability to read into people's souls. All right, and with that, that's perfect. That is perfect. All about this. Totally resonates with the reading. Pay attention. This is a Mother Moon reading card. But it's still an animal, the owl. So I would see where owls pop up in your life. All right, Cancer, thank you so much. If you would like a reading, find me on Facebook, on the website, email me, or Twitter. All right, thank you so much. Much love, joy, and blessings.